guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany and I'm a type 1 diabetic for 18 years now. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about pregnancy with type 1 diabetes. I do want to mention I am not a medical professional. I'm just a diabetic who has had 3 pregnancies, and I kind of want to share your basic questions and answer them and kind of give you a summary of what I've been through. Before I go further, please like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. So first I want to talk about the expectations going in. It is nerve-wracking thinking about bringing a child into this world and having diabetes. It's a lot. Basically, you just have to have the mindset of this is what I want to do, and you have to be fully committed to this next step, this new journey that you're going to embark on. It's exciting, it's nerve-wracking, but it's so rewarding in the end. You all have asked me, what was your A1C? So I have 3 children, 3 beautiful, healthy children. They're a little older now. My daughter is 8 and my 2 boys are 6 and 5. So with my first pregnancy, my A1C from the beginning was 6.4. And then my second pregnancy at the beginning was 6.2 and my third 6.2. So relatively speaking, I started off at a good point. But during my pregnancy, my doctor aimed to get that lower so that we can avoid complications later on in the pregnancy. So basically, doctors want to start you off at a good A1C. I would say, I'm not a medical doctor, but I would say that the 6-7 range is a good range to be at, only because when you first become pregnant, there's a lot of changes going on, and you don't want to have the issue of trying to get your blood sugars under control while dealing with a new pregnancy. There's just a lot going on, so doctors want you to have a good enough control so where like things just go smoothly. You can avoid, there's certain complications that can arise early in the pregnancy because the baby is just starting to develop the organs and all that. So it's good to have good control so you don't have to worry as much about potentially having complications. But again, I've heard many stories of women with higher A1Cs and they've had all good outcomes. It's just dependent on many different variables, but have to speak with your doctor. But I started off in the 6 range. When I was younger, I actually thought that I wouldn't be able to have kids. That was the biggest fear of mine. I always knew I wanted to be a mom, and it terrified me thinking that I could cause harm to my unborn child because of a disease that I didn't ask for. So that was a terrible, terrible fear of mine that caused a lot of unnecessary anxiety in my first pregnancy. And that wore off, obviously, the second and third, because I knew that I could do this and I could have a healthy pregnancy. So if you're watching and you're unsure, like, can I do this? You can definitely do this. The fear is there, but you have to realize that you do something so incredible every day. You can do this as well. The human body is amazing, science is amazing, and it's very much possible today. Next, I want to talk about how pregnancy affected my diabetes. So from the beginning of my pregnancies, there wasn't that much change. I mean, I could tell things were changing, but again, that's how diabetes is every day. By the 7-week mark, that's when I noticed a huge dip in my blood sugars. I needed very little insulin. It was between the 7 to 11 week mark. That's because the placebo is turning into forming a placenta, and all the medical stuff that is confusing. But basically, the pregnancy is progressing, and really crazy concept, because being a diabetic, we feel and experience everything that's going on around us, especially hormones and all of that. So yeah, I definitely noticed a difference. I had to stay in the hospital for a week with each of my pregnancies around the 7 to 11 week mark because my blood sugars were out of whack and I needed help stabilizing and making sure that me and my baby were healthy. Around the second trimester, I felt like myself again. The lows kind of subsided. I felt better. I had more energy. The second trimester was definitely amazing for me. I didn't have bad symptoms in my pregnancy. Like, I felt great. So I'm very lucky for that. The third trimester was hard because, you know, you put on some weight. With me, when my blood sugar's in great control, I put on some weight. I put on 60 pounds with each pregnancy, but I didn't care because my babies were healthy and growing and everything was great. And that's what you have to remember. Don't focus on so much on the weight and all of that. Just make sure that you're taking care of your diabetes and you're taking care of yourself and you're making good decisions, and that weight will come off later. It does. At the third trimester, the insulin needs skyrocketed, like it doubled. I had to take more and more insulin, but not as much lows. Like, I got good control over that. As far as diet goes, I'm not a diabetic that limits myself. If I want something, I will have it. With my maternal fetal medicine doctor, he said something that really stuck with me, was that I don't care what you eat, but eat the same thing every single day. It could be roadkill for all I care. And I thought it was so funny, and I thought about it like, wow, that makes sense. Like, if you're taking the same insulin, or relatively the same, depending on your hormones, your stress level and all that, or if you're sick, but if you're eating the same thing and you're taking the same insulin every day, you can expect a certain trend to follow. And that has stuck with me even after pregnancy. It taught me a lot. The things he taught me, like how to adjust my basal rates easily, it helped me for after pregnancy. Pregnancy was a huge learning curve, and I've actually had better control because of the pregnancies and everything that I learned. But no, I did not follow a certain diet. I lived my best life. I was pregnant with type 1 diabetes. It was hectic at times, but I knew, like, going in, I was not going to let diabetes determine how I enjoyed my pregnancy. Like, I am me first. I'm me. Diabetes is just along for the ride. So I enjoyed every bit of it. Like, I really did. But I tried to eat the same things pretty much every single day. For insulin, what I did in my first pregnancy was I switched to NPH and Novolog, which did not work out for me very well. I don't do good with that. I was initially on Lantus, and then I switched immediately to Omnipod, which I can leave a link telling you my experience with Omnipod, and that went great. With my second pregnancy, my maternal fetal medicine doctor suggested Lantus, and I thought that wasn't allowed with pregnancy, but he said it's just not approved by the FDA, but it's very safe. So I went on Lantus and Novolog, and that worked out great. The third pregnancy, I switched back to the Omnipod because I just like that flexibility with the basal rate, so I did that. And yeah, that's basically what I chose to use for my insulins in the pregnancies, and they all worked out great. Yeah. Currently, I'm on the Tandem Tslim, which is amazing because of the Control IQ system. In my first two pregnancies, I did not have a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor, so I had to check my blood sugar all the time, even throughout the night. So yeah, it is demanding. You're going to have to put in the work. It's a lot of work, but again, the reward is amazing. In my third pregnancy, I got the CGM, and I thought it was new at the time, but I initially thought, like, why do I need this device if it's not doing anything but checking my blood sugar? I thought it was silly, but it completely changed my life. Like, that's something every diabetic should have, is a CGM. It definitely changed everything for me. So my biggest tip would be get a CGM. As far as complications go, I didn't have complications. For my first pregnancy, I delivered at 39 weeks. I was induced so that I was in a setting where it could all be controlled. For my second and third, I delivered at 37. That's when the babies decided to come. I don't know if that's diabetes related. That's just when I went into labor. However, with my third, he was born and he had low blood sugar. Of course, that can be a cause from diabetes. But other than that, there hasn't been anything that would show like I had complications that arose from diabetes in my pregnancy. I'm very lucky. But I would say that my babies were a little bit on the bigger side. My daughter was 9 pounds, 1 ounce. My second child, my boy was 7'11", and my third child, my boy, was 9 pounds, 11 ounces. So they're on the bigger side. However, I'm 5'6", my husband's 6'2", 6'3". So, I mean, they were destined to be bigger than average, but yes, it is typically found that diabetics have slightly bigger babies because of the rise and fall of blood sugars, but they are healthy and beautiful, and I'm so blessed. So what pregnancy has taught me, and kind of the advice that I could give, obviously, number one, get a CGM. 2, have that support to help you. There's been times where I've needed somebody there to help me with making sure that I'm okay, because sometimes when you're pregnant, you'll have those lows and you need somebody there to help you get a juice, help you get a snack. Be aware that you're going to have to possibly make a commute to a maternal fetal medicine doctor. These specialists, they are amazing dealing with high risk pregnancies, but you're going to have to be committed to make that travel or wherever your doctor is. It was a lot. I would drive 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours each appointment with each pregnancy. It was a lot of traveling, but again, so rewarding. I would do it all over again if I had to, but yeah, it was a lot. Another thing I want to mention is reach out for support online. There's so many groups that wasn't available to me or I didn't know about when I was pregnant on social media. There's so many groups that talk about pregnancy with diabetes, and you can relate to so many other people. I felt kind of alone when I was pregnant because I didn't have anybody to talk to about what I was going through, if it was normal, because a lot of it, diabetes makes things extra complicated. So definitely reach out to people that are going through the same thing. Be easy on yourself. You're going to get frustrated. There were times that my blood sugar would not go down. I was having big insulin resistance. I had so much anxiety from not knowing if this was normal, if that was normal, because I didn't know anybody with diabetes that became pregnant. So this was all new to me, and it feels like you're completely alone, but you're not. You're going to do awesome. Everything's going to be okay. You just have to take it one step at a time. Don't be so hard on yourself if you have a high blood sugar, if you have a low blood sugar. You are doing basically the unthinkable. It's amazing what you're doing or planning on doing. So be easy on yourself. Know that it's not going to be perfect all the time. Just do your best. Just do your best and everything will be fine. If I could do it, you could do it. Yeah, I believe in you. So you guys are diet badasses, and it's amazing to be part of a community that literally warrior on every single day, that make humans. And literally, 100 years ago, that was not even really possible. And look how far we've come. And the obstacles and the mountains we've climbed. It's just amazing. So I just want to say how much I appreciate this community that I'm a part of. Again, if I haven't answered your questions today, leave them down below. I know it's a lot of information and it's a lot to cover in a video. So I would be more than happy to answer any additional questions you have. I appreciate you watching and subscribing to my channel. Diabetes is calling me, so I do have to go. Later, guys. Bye. Thank you for watching. Bye, guys.